Welcome back to BST, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode. We got some news out of the NFC East recently. Two superstars who want to be traded, so let's talk about it. First off, Micah Parsons, the bigger story, more drama surrounding it. He posted a long story on his Twitter, or on his X, I guess. So let me stick with me here while I read this, because this is like a book, but it gives us good insight into the situation. So, yes, this is Parsons. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I would to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up watching for the team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, PA. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. Now, when he's talking about this, I believe there was a situation where he and Jerry Jones were talking. I'm not exactly sure what they were talking about, but then Jerry Jones brought up the contract, and it almost appeared as if he was trying to negotiate without his agent. And you can take that however you want to take it. For me, that's kind of like, are you trying to like broker a deal right there and then kind of screw him out of it just because like maybe Micah doesn't really know his value or stuff like that? So kind of shady business from Jerry Jones there. Where was I here? I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. That's another shot at Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, I can't remember exactly what the quote was, but he was basically saying he doesn't want to pay a guy who doesn't step on the field, which is kind of insane because Parsons has been maybe their best player of the past, but other than CeeDee Lamb, but definitely their best defensive player of the past 4 years. So, and it was only till last season that that he got injured, and I think the quote from Jerry was like, even if we pay him, he could still get injured. And it's like, yeah, that's part of the game, Jerry. Like, that's not something that should be held against a player. Like, injuries happen, and he hasn't been that injured in his career. He's been really productive throughout his career. So I think that's just a nothing argument for Jerry. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there is some confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that, didn't complain, and focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care. I wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. I mean, that is one of the most unselfish plays ever. A lot of players want to wait for their peers to sign because it just drives up the market. You get more money, but Micah wanted to wait, and this is before Trey Hendrickson hasn't signed yet, but before Trey Hendrickson will sign, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, all those big time contracts from the edge rusher position, he wanted to do it beforehand, and that's admirable. That means he really wanted to be there. He's not looking for top. I mean, obviously, he would have gotten top money, but you pay him then, it's certainly probably fourth in edge rusher money now. If once Trey Hendrickson signs wherever he signs. So, like, if this is true, I mean, all signs are pointing to the Cowboys being yet more dysfunctional. Didn't think it could even get any worse than it was, but it has. Let's continue. This was before any of the other pass rusher deals got, and then it goes to the next one. So 1 second. Hold on. I think I'm out of order here. Where is it? Okay. Um, I don't know where the other one went because that doesn't match up. All right, so we're moving on. Doesn't really make sense. But then it says, after the season, I told my agent once again to let the team know we were open. So this is after 2024. Open to negotiate when they met at the combine. My agent informed me I should wait for the other deals to get done because the price would only go up. Oh, okay. So no, he just cut it off. Okay. So this is resuming from the last page. This was before any of the other pass rushers deals got done this offseason. I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones. I think he's talking about Jerry there, to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned him into talking contract with me. So yeah, that's what it was. So he's talking about just leadership or whatever. I don't know, some other conversation, and then they bring up contract. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation, and I informed Mr. Jones afterwards my agent would be reaching out thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a let's see. Okay, up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made from my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet, but again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I have made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. So that is the full message from Micah Parsons on X. We don't really see this very often when a player, we see trade requests, obviously. We'll talk about the Terry McLaurin one coming up, and that was just a trade request. And I think a lot of the times players will send in a trade request to their GM or whoever handles those to get the ball rolling and get their contract moving. We saw it with Myles Garrett. Now, Myles Garrett was a weird situation because he said, I want to win Super Bowls. But when you wave pass rusher money in front of their face, kind of hard to turn it down. So, but even him, it was like, I love the Browns organization. I love playing here. I love the city. But I want to go win a Super Bowl. So I want to be traded. This one, I hate Stephen Jones. I hate Jerry Jones. he doesn't hate the fans, but like, I'm tired of being mistreated by the fans and everybody involved. I'm out. Like, this is like, he is flaming people on his way out. Like, this, if he comes back, this will not be a pretty relationship, I don't think. And I mean, money talks, but I don't know. To me, I'm on Parsons' side here. I get where he's coming from. I mean, I think the Cowboys have just grossly mismanaged this whole operation. And what I have heard, because after this kind of broke, I watched some videos because I was just kind of interested. And it seems as if Cowboys fans almost hate Stephen Jones more than Jerry, which I did not know was a reality. I figured Jerry was horrible, but they hate Stephen Jones because he handles a lot of the operation as well. And he's just stupid. And like, he hasn't accomplished anything in his life. Like, his dad's a millionaire. So like, he's kind of just been thrust into this position. And I don't know. It's just stupid. It's like, it's one thing. You want to trade a guy because maybe they don't think Parsons is worth top end pass rusher money. That's fine. But the way you're managing this is horrible. Like, it's just like gross how poor they are managing this situation. If you don't want to pay the guy, make that up front. Like, make that, oh, yeah, sorry, Micah, we really love what you've done for us for 5 seasons, but we just don't view you as a $43 million player or whatever the top end money is. It's around there. That is perfectly fine. In the NFL, it's a business, and you can decide whatever you want to when it comes to your contracts. And is that a bad decision? Probably, because you're losing a player like Micah Parsons. But at least you're doing it the right way. At least you're telling Micah the truth. In this situation, not talking to him, not reaching out. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, this is stupid. It is so grossly mismanaged by the Cowboys. It's like just ignoring him like you're a child. Like, have some conversation. It is not that hard. It is crazy to me that, like, and this feels like it happens time after time. I mean, I'm not sure if it happens in this exact situation, but like CeeDee Lamb got signed late, Dak Prescott got signed late. But honestly, that's the real crazy thing is they have paid Dak Prescott twice, but yet they won't pay Micah Parsons. They paid Dak Prescott $60 million, but they won't pay Micah Parsons top-end pass rusher money. Like, it's just so bad. And I'm not going to say I'm shocked. I'm not. Like, I'm not shocked. But I guess I didn't realize how much Stephen Jones plays a role in this organization. Now, Jerry obviously has his pitfalls as well. Loves talking in the media, loves stirring things up. Very egotistical. And honestly, I struggle to wonder if Jerry even wants to win anymore. And that might sound ridiculous, and I'm sure he's wanted to win in the past, but I think he values, I honestly think he values money over winning. Because obviously, if you're looking at the business of the Dallas Cowboys, he has done a phenomenal job making money, becoming one of the most valuable franchises in sports. But if we're looking from the football side of things, they've drafted pretty well. But it's just like a lot of decisions don't make a lot of sense. And he's unwilling to spend money in the free agency market. He usually pays his guys that he drafts, but now this, and it just gets worse. And I used to think once Jerry Jones had passed, it would be a day that, it sounds horrible, but I think it would have been a day that Cowboys fans not celebrated, but were relieved a little bit because I don't know. It just seems like Jerry is not really serious about winning at this point. But now it seems like Stephen Jones might be worse. So, reach out to any Cowboys fan that and just make sure you're there for them, because this is horrible. I mean, it is just stupid. But let's be real here. I don't think he's going to be traded. I think any trade that the Cowboys do, they will undoubtedly lose. Like, I've seen most trade packages are like 2 firsts and players and more picks, but let's actually go through with, according to Bleacher Report, 5 trade packages that could be sent to Dallas for Micah Parsons. First team, the New England Patriots. This one's kind of interesting, though, because I think the Patriots, although they're kind of underrated, I think they could be a team who could, their picks are definitely more valuable because they're still not like that contender that I think a lot of these other teams on this list will be. So let's take a look here. Patriots get Micah Parsons. They send a 2026 first, a 2026 second, a 2027 first, and a 2027 third. I think you still got to throw in a player. I mean, Micah Parsons is like the first player since like Reggie White or something to have like 4 seasons of 12 plus sacks in his first 4 seasons. So, like, this guy's crazy. This guy's off to a Hall of Fame start of his career. So, I think you'd probably have to put in a player maybe. But I definitely would like him on the Patriots. A young, up and coming team with a franchise pass rusher like that would be awesome. At number 2, the Detroit Lions. Lions get Micah Parsons and a 2026 fifth. The Cowboys get a 2026 first, a 2026 second, a 2027 first, and a 2026 third, and edge rusher Marcus Davenport. So very similar package, and then a player. So kind of interesting. I don't know. I feel like if I'm the Cowboys, I'm asking for a younger, more dynamic player, maybe like Terrion Arnold or Jameson Williams, something like that. Obviously, Lions probably don't accept that, but that's just what I'm asking for at this point. But let's move. Cincinnati. Oh, this one's interesting. All right. Bengals get Micah Parsons. Cowboys get a 2026 first, a 2026 second, a 2026 third, and another 2026 third. And edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, who we spoke about earlier, who is in a contract dispute himself. This would be a fun one. And if I'm the Cowboys and if the Bengals offer this, I think this is the one I'm accepting. Now, if you're not willing to pay Micah Parsons big money, you're probably not willing to pay Trey Hendrickson big money. So this one kind of doesn't make sense. But if this worked out and you're able to extend Trey Hendrickson to a contract, and for some reason you like him more than Parsons, you're willing to pay him, you're honestly not getting that much worse at the position, and you're getting a bunch of picks, a bunch of draft capital. So if this one was actually sent to the Cowboys, I would like this for them. Green Bay, my team. All right, let's see what we give up here. Packers get Micah Parsons. Cowboys get 2026 first, 2026 second. It says 2026 first, but I think that's supposed to be 2027 because I don't think the Packers have 2 firsts next year. So 2027 first, and one of Green Bay's receivers. If I'm Green Bay, which receiver am I giving up? It's probably Romeo Doubs. Like, even though I love Romeo, I think he's the most similar to Matthew Golden. I know Golden's faster, but I think just in terms of where Golden will play on the field, I think they're very similar. So it'd probably be him. I'm not sure Wicks is enough to sway the Cowboys here. Reed, I think, is just a little too valuable of a slot guy on the team to trade. And Watson's obviously injured. And I doubt they would trade Golden. Although if it's for Micah Parsons, I'd consider it. But I let's be real. The Packers are not going to trade for Micah Parsons. I doubt he gets traded anyway, but even if he does, it will not be to the Green Bay Packers. This is not what they do. Last but not least, the LA Chargers. Interesting. Chargers get Micah Parsons and a 2027 fourth, and Cowboys get 2026 first, 2026 second, 2027 first, 2027 fifth, and Najee Harris. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. Obviously, the draft capital is very similar in all these trades, like 2 first, a second, and then another pick. But Najee Harris, I don't know. I don't think Najee Harris is very dynamic. And I think at the end of the day, if Micah Parsons does get traded, it's going to be to the best package, excluding any of the NFC East teams, probably. But I don't think they would really worry about trading him into other places in the NFC. And it'll just be, I think the trade capital will be 2 firsts, a second, another pick. And then it's going to really just end up on who's the player included, that like which player is the best. out of the bunch, and that will kind of decide what package they choose. But I don't really think he'll get traded. These are fun trade ideas, but I don't think Jerry will trade him, and I think he came out and said as much. He's not going to trade him. But for me, if you're the Cowboys, if you're not going to trade him, then at least talk to the guy. Let's have a conversation here, and let's lay out what we want from Micah in a contract, in playing, whatever. All right. And Micah has already said his frustrations. Like, they got to work this thing out, because this is not a pretty situation. Like, this isn't just, I want to be traded. This is, you guys suck at your job. You don't know what you're doing. You always blame me for stuff. I want to be traded. So this is a very, very different situation. They got to get it all worked out. But I don't think the Cowboys can physically trade him. You will be losing value almost 100%. Like, even if you get 2 first-round picks, the chances you find Parsons, the next Parsons in the draft, is outstandingly low, because these are all contending teams. These are all gonna be picks in like the 20s probably. Maybe not the Patriots, but still, the Patriots are a surging team and should be better over the next couple of years. So I don't see why, like, where the value is in trading him. If he doesn't show up to camp in like the next 5 days of camp, then I believe they can put him on the retired list, and they don't have to pay him this season. And he can't play. I think he'll show up. He'll probably do a hold in. It's kind of the popular thing right now, is to hold in so you don't get fined. So you show up to training camp and you just don't participate. So I think that's what we'll see. Probably going to go until the end of August, right before the first game. But just an ugly situation. Horrible mismanagement by the Cowboys. Yeah, it just, I don't even know. It feels like it happens too often with them. So let's move on to another player who wants to trade, Terry McLaurin. This one's a little bit different because it wasn't like a firestorm. He didn't go guns a-blazing and say all these horrible things. And honestly, his argument is there. This is a guy, he's 29 years old, been in the league for 6 years. He was there when the Commanders sucked. Like, legitimately, like, he has been through horrible, horrible seasons with bad quarterbacks. Taylor Heineke, I don't even know who has been, like, just, like, not good players. You finally get him a quarterback. They gel. They have 10-plus touchdowns. So I see why he wants to be traded, wants to be paid. But I'll see why he wants to be traded, because I don't think this is like the Parsons one. Parsons almost assuredly wants to be traded. I think for McLaurin, I think he's trying to get the ball rolling a little bit. And I think he's just going to have to come to the realization that he's got to look from the team side and think, man, it's tough to justify paying an almost 30-year-old top end receiver money like he probably wants, probably like around the mid 30s. So I see both sides. For the Commanders, they've done a good job building this team. You don't want to ruin it with a bad contract, but at the other token, it's like McLaurin is a guy who's been here through the horrible, horrible times, and it's like you want to reward a guy like that who has stuck with your franchise, signed an extension after his rookie deal, but I don't know. It's just a tough one because he's not. I don't think he's necessarily worth the 35 or whatever he wants a year. Recently, Cortland Sutton signed an extension. I think he's probably more around that mark. Yeah, I think that was like 23 a year. So he's probably mid 20s would be fine. And I think that's probably what the Commanders are asking him for. I think they'll end up signing him to a compromise, something in there. I don't think McLaurin will be traded whatsoever. Um, but yeah, I mean, I hope the Commanders are at least talking to him, unlike the Cowboys. But I see both sides of the situation. And honestly, I think if you're the Commanders, you're probably going to have to pay him more than you want to. That's just the reality. But you get rid of Terry McLaurin, like your wide receiver core is not that good. Like you have Debo Samuel and who else? Maybe I'm forgetting somebody, but like it's not that great. So you kind of need McLaurin. This guy was big for your offense last year. And I've already made moves this year that kind of signify wanting to compete further and challenge for a Super Bowl. And, I think you finally had something good going with your team. Don't ruin it now and trade your best receiver, one of your best players. Bring him back, even if it's more than you want. He's only 30. Like, I think if you brought him back on like a 2-year extension, 2 to 3 years, and you really front load it for this year, because I think they have the space, but also just kind of insure yourself down the line. I think it's what you got to do, because this is your quarterback's number one connection. Just get it done. Just get it done. And let's move on and look forward to a good season for the Commanders, to be honest. So, last but not least, I wanted to talk about the Madden 26 ratings. They're horrible every year, no doubt about it. So, first off, the 99 club, 99 overall. First off, Jamar Chase, well-deserved. He's the best wide receiver in football. Josh Allen, well-deserved. Justin Jefferson, well-deserved. Lamar Jackson, of course. Lane Johnson, yeah, pretty much. Although, I don't know. I almost like Penei Sewell over Lane Johnson, but he has the argument, but I think Lane Johnson's also 99. I wish they'd make the 99 a little bit bigger. Like, I feel like there's a lot more players who are 99 overalls. Myles Garrett, yeah. And Saquon makes sense. All right, that's the 99 club. Any real snubs? I mean, like, I don't know. Got a lot of good quarterbacks. I'd say probably just the fact that Mahomes, I mean, you can say what you want about Mahomes. Like, he's probably a 99 by this point. Like, if we look at quarterbacks, Mahomes is a 95. So that's still good. But, like, Mahomes is probably just a 99. I mean, like, he probably is. I mean, every single playoff game that he's played, he's just won. Like, pretty much anyway. And he's always played good in them. So, like, I think if you're going to make Josh Allen, Lamar a 99, just make Mahomes a 99. And make Joe Burrow a 99. Like, they're all 99s, to be honest. But then you have such a sharp drop-off from Mahomes at a 95 to Stafford at an 88. Kind of insane, to be honest. But I guess that's whatever. So, I'm trying to see here if anything else is kind of crazy. Bo Nix at a 79. That's kind of insane to me, I guess. That's kind of crazy. I'm not sure that I'm not sure that I really agree with that one. Bo Nix had a pretty comparable season to Jaden Daniels. And he's a 79 and Jaden Daniels an 85. I think that's kind of overrating Jaden Daniels a little bit. None of the quarterbacks are really that crazy. I do wonder why they never make kickers like a higher overall. The highest overall is like an 87. That's kind of weird to me. But regardless. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't think Madden's going to be good this year. It's never good. So who even cares? But I think it's kind of fun to look at how, I mean, wait, no, who cares? Woody Johnson, because he's going to look at the Madden ratings and decide who deserves or who to trade and not to trade based off of their Madden ratings. So Woody Johnson is studying this stuff very hardly to decide who on his roster stays and goes. So good job, Madden. And cool. All right. Yeah. So thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know down in the comments who you think Micah Parsons will be traded to, or if he will be traded at all. And same with McLaurin and overall thoughts on all that. So yeah, have a good one. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you next time.